This conference will now be recorded.
Correct. So the last class we were discussing about SDLC phases, right? We discussed about the requirements gathering phase, the analysis, and the design. In the designing phase, which we discussed about the high level design, the low level design, which we put up into top down approach and bottom up approach over there, right? So this was the discussion which we last session which we had it. So today we'll start off from the coding phase, the development phase over there, right? Coding phase, the role who plays over here, right? We call them as developers, or however you can call them as programmers, right? Anyway, does not matter over here. So what is their responsibility now? Responsibility is to prepare source code for the requirements, right? Source code for requirements. Now, when we say for requirements, is it only for the valid requirements or is it going to be only for the invalid requirements? Source code for requirements, is it going to be for valid or invalid? Both. Yes, we are testing. We had a discussion the last class all the time of testing valid and invalid. So you have to have it both, because how do you test it valid or invalid if they only prepare for a specific set of requirements, right? So both valid and invalid requirements over there, right? The process will be, right? So the developers will be preparing a source code, right? Source code for the entire requirements of that application over here, right? And they will be preparing a source code document over here, right? So developers will prepare source code for product, right? And also prepare source code document, right? So this document will be converted into various formats based on application over here, right? This document will be converted into various formats. How many types of applications do we have? Based on type of application. In that case, how many types of applications do we have?
3 types.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not wrong, it is native, web, and hybrid.
Mm-hmm. So you,
Mobile based.
yes, sir. Was not able to hear you.
Those are mobile based.
Right. So you put up as a mobile. Shall I add up another two as you mentioned it, right?
Uh,
The
so
window-based,
Windows based and
web-based, and the mobile-based,
based.
right? So if it is a window-based, the source code will be converted into what format? What is the output they will be giving it to you so that you are supposed to do testing over there, right? In case of window-based application, the source code document will be converted into, they call it as executable format, which has an extension called exe, and the same will be sent to test engineers for the sake of functional validation. That is what they'll say it as, right? Now, when you pick up a window-based application over here, one application, I have it over here on my screen desktop itself, right? An Adobe Premiere Pro, right? This is an application over here. You can see the type is application. I go to the properties over here. I have exe. So I want to interact with this application. I want to do some. This is an editing application, a video editing kind of an application over there. So I want to use this, right? I want to interact as a user. I want to interact with that application. The very first interaction will be with this application is by double clicking on it, and the interaction will begin where it gets installed and so on, all it happens over there. So that is in case of window-based application. How about web-based application then? In case of web-based application, the source code document will be converted. Which format? What is the output you will be given to test a web page? They call it as deployable format, right? Is nothing but installed format. That means which is already been installed and kept in the servers over there, right? Where you will be accessing the server from the server based on its URL over there. That means you will be given a URL, the address of a web page over there, right? Installed format, and the same is sent to test engineers along with its URL, which is an address of a web page over there, right? So that is in case of web page you're talking about. If it is a mobile, if it is an Android application, then what will be the extension of a Android application then?
Is it APK?
It is APK. If it's an iPhones, then the extension for the iPhone applications, where you go to the Play Stores and App Stores, which has it, right? You go to the extensions, it has an iOS format over there, right? So these are the outputs they give it to you, right? If it's a mobile, web application, or a window-based application, right? So that is how this source code document will be converted, right? And the outcome of this particular phase is, right, source code document over here. How do you define the word called coding? I want you people to define what is coding.
Instructions.
Instructions. Okay, we defined the word called program in our pre-SDLC. What did we said over there? Set of instructions that can be
Instructions.
executed to get the
Executed.
desired output. This was the
Yeah.
line which we defined it over there. But I want this line to be changed because we are into the testing. We want the simplest manner over here. So we are not developers to use that line. I want my own line now for the testing side. So how can we use it over here? Can I say this line now? So why do our developers prepare a source coding? To ensure the application should be working, right? So I define it like this: writing a program to get the functionality. Functionality of what? In a sense, it's an application there, which is called as a coding. So you can use this line also for defining what is coding or a programs over there. Clear? Sure. We got the output now. Either it is a mobile, web, or window-based application, right? We come into the picture, that is the testing phase begins. The role who plays over here is a test engineer, right? No talking about that test engineer role. The responsibility will be what for us? To validate the application functionality of application. So in order to do the testing, so this is what you'll do. So testing, this line also you can define it, right? Another definition you want to use, here it is. You can use this also. Test engineer to validate the functionality of application. We had quite a lot of lines defined for our word called testing, right? This is also you can add up over there. Now, what is the process, right? So we are not going to go blindly and start testing it. What is it we are supposed to do initially? So the process, they say all possible documents must undergo a review process, right? For functional understanding. That is what they will say it as. So in that case, where do we start from? As a test engineer, where do we start from? They give an application, they do not give it application, that is secondary. We are least bothered about what developers are doing it and giving it or not giving it to us. But where do we start from?
From the requirement phase.
From the requirements phase. So
Like
which is the
we
requirement
have
phase you need to talk about?
client requirement
Your document name.
documents HL, BRS and BDD.
And it's not and, it's or there. Okay.
FRS.
BDD, we are
Yeah.
talking about client requirements. So start reviewing that particular document over here. BDD, reviewing over there as a test engineer, because you need to get into the understanding about the requirements of that application over there. So for that purpose, you are studying these requirements which are there in the document over here, right? So as a test engineer, will study the client requirement for functional understanding, right? Yes, we have studied the requirements now. Then what are we supposed to do over here? We have our own plans now. The plan is to prepare a test case document, right? A test case document preparation, right? So apart from understanding about the requirements or based on the requirements, we are supposed to evenly prepare a plan for ourselves. And that particular plan is nothing but called as a test case document over here, right? Apart from functional understanding, test engineer will prepare test case document to carry out testing. So I am preparing a procedure for myself, right? I prepared a plan for myself which has all the instructions step by step, right? How do we approach onto the application? What is the input need to be given? Based on the input given, the application responding how. So that is what I'm preparing myself in that way, which I call it as a test case document, right? So that I can do my testing. That is what I said. Test engineer will prepare test case document to carry out testing. Now, when do we need to carry out testing over here? The next one, test case document execution, we call it as, right? They say once application is released, test engineer will implement test case document to carry out testing on it, right? Now, once the application is released, you do the execution onto it. That is what I ended up my line saying it like this, to carry out testing on it, on the application over here. Now, for what reason you will be doing this execution onto the application? For what purpose you want to do it? What is the reason behind the test case document executing onto the application?
To check the valid and invalid functionalities.
To see the valid and
It's
invalid functionalities. Okay. Anything else? Only to see the valid or invalid functionalities? What will be the reason mainly?
if it is bug free.
Is it raising any defects or not? So your intention behind the application is to find defects. You do not find defects, automatically the application is functioning properly. You find the defects, automatically the application is not functioning properly. Simple line. So what is your testing definition specified over there? It is a process of executing an application with an intent to find defects. Main reason over there, right? Based on the defects finding available or not available, the application will obviously function in so and so manner there, right? So if any defects found, tester will prepare a defect report document, right? Or otherwise a bug report which specifies all possible defects detected by tester, right? Based on what all actions you have performed over there. Detected by tester based on actions, right? Along with severity and priority. Later, it is sent to developers for the sake of rectification. If you people see this particular line which I typed it is the line exactly what the definition you have prepared it during the very first day, right? The testing definition, we formed it one of the definitions like this. Testing, it is a process of identifying a defects. Here it is. I found the defects. How did I found it? By doing the execution, right? So it is a process of identifying the defects, documenting them, and subjected to rectification. This is what it is. The only thing is I just elaborated in a detailed manner here. The same definition, nothing else. Only thing is I added a few words into that, right? So in this line, it specifies all possible defects Now, did we had any discussion related to all types of defects? If it is not all, at least few, did we had this had that discussion? Fine. You think about that. Severity and priority is also being defined by us. How serious is the defect? What is the action to be taken by the developers? Is it need to be rectified immediately, later, what it is, right? So that is what it is. Severity and priority is also being described for the defect over there. Now, what all types of defects you discussed about them? Did we had that, yes or no? Right. So when we are talking about it, so the outcome of our phase will be what? The testing phase outcome will be what? This is where we can call it as a defect-free application or a bug-free application, or you can call it as a quality product over here. So this is what we are trying to deliver it, right? So once it is being considered as a defect-free, right, it is supposed to going to the next phase, that is delivery phase, right? The delivery phase, the role who plays is a delivery manager. Responsibility will be deliver the product at client location. Install the product. If it is, I'm talking about a software, install the product, right? If it's an hardware application, deliver it over there. So based on that, deliver it, install it, deploy the product at client location. Does not matter whatever word you can use it over there. But what will be the process over here, right? So the delivery manager, first thing, he will select a delivery team or a deploy team, which I use another word like this for you, right? Deployable team, right? Which includes the developers and the test engineers again over here, right? So this team will go through a checklist at the time of delivery. So what is that checklist? We'll have a look over here. So if it is a software application, what is it you need to see? It has been delivered, installed successfully, right? If it's an hardware application, like you people buy a mobile, a courier boy delivers it to you, right? What is the first thing you will see over there? If it's a mobile application, no, sorry, if it's a mobile, you bought it an online or an offline at the time of delivery, right? You're catching hold of a package now. So what is the first thing you will see? So whereas product is available or not? No. I will accept that line, but not as the first point. If it is the lines are being put into a sequential, that will be much better, sir. Yes, Mr. Brani, you're saying something.
We'll check with the model. If
model, everything you have checked and you paid the amount, so they are delivering it.
Then we will turn on the mobile.
No, I will not accept that line also now. So as for a software side, I will make sure if the application is installed properly or not, right? Installed properly or not, that I will say it. But what about help document is given or not? No, not even that. Yes, Mr. Hari, I will I will accept that as I go a little further, but not as a first line. So you need to check whether the package is your package or the neighbor's package, right? Address. Check if it is properly sealed or not. Yes, I can understand your anxiety when the package comes, you will not even see, but at the terms and conditions of the delivery, right, it is clearly written, one of the term, if the package is damaged, if the seal is broken, do not accept. So for that particular line, I will use it as per a software side, right? Am I right or wrong in that case?
Yes, sir, right.
If you people remember, you people are standing in a retailer shop also, retail stores, and trying to buy a mobile. He will evenly show you, sir, madam, here I'm opening the seal. Did you pay the amount? You show the receipt. He then opens up, right? After opening, then see whether the product is available or not. Right, Mr. Hari, I think you said this line product available or not. So now I'll see after opening it, right? Now it is available in a sense. Is it been just dumped like that, or is it been put in a proper position, places like that, right? So that you need to check. So here you can see I'm not even checking the functionality also, right? I'm least considered about that. My mobile available, my charger available, my earplugs available, my help documents available, all these things I will be checking out, right? So if it's a software side, I will see, check for disk space occupied by deployed software, deployed or installed, however it is, does not matter, right? Because they say this is the application which is going to use a 10 MB memory of your device. It has to occupy the exact amount of space because you are installing for the first time, not more than that, not less than that, right? The memory increases based on our usage, that is secondary. So this is at the time of initial there, right? This I'll check out. Now you said help documents, all such kind of things, that I can say it as check for help documents available to conduct end user testing over there. So some points I have mentioned it like this, right? These can be considered as a green box testing, right? The above checklist is considered as green box testing over there. Few lines I mentioned it over here, right? You can have a nice lamba chauda list. I think in the notes I mentioned it, few more extra lines also. Do check out over there, right? So entire checklist will be considered as like this green box testing. If you see the checklist over here, we did not, it is called as a green box. It is a method over there, sir. It is one of a method of testing. Okay. Right. And I forgot what I was talking about. What I was talking about checklist considered as green box testing. Yeah, checklist. 1 second. Okay, whatever, I forgot that line. Yes, the above checklist, right? I only mentioned few lines over there. There are more lines in the notes. I mentioned it, right? Which is called as a green box testing, right? One of the method of the testing technique over there. And if you see these checklists, right? Nowhere it says the functionality of the application over there. right? Somebody said, is it working or not? No, I am not even checking out whether it is working or not in this checklist, right? If you want me to put up even that also, yes, I will consider in the first line, first checklist itself, installed and functioning properly or not. If it is, that is a secondary step, but it is, right? So if you want me to add up, I can even add up like this also, right? Now it has been done, deliver the product to the client now, right? So it is delivered. We call the last phase, that is the maintenance phase over there, right? So the maintenance phase, the role who plays is who? The end users, right? Again, the end users or the on-site team, or you can call it as a deploy team, right? End of the day, all are same over here for you. Responsibility is, right, ensuring the application working at the client location over here. Right. For that particular process, right, end users will perform UAT, which is called as user acceptance testing at client location, or otherwise we said live environment, right? Live environment. So what is it? Generally, they are doing it at the client location. We said simple user acceptance testing, and in the very first day session, right? One of the person who does perform UA testing is your end users, and we said UAT installing the product at the client location, and so and all. We discussed something like that, right? But what is it exactly they are doing it over here? It is nothing but making sure the enhancement of the application over here, right? Enhancement is nothing but extending from one level to another level, one version to another version. That is, you call it as upgrading, either you call it as updating, right? So what is mean by update and what is mean by upgrade? What is difference between these two? Upgrading to the next version, updating within the version. Say like we developed an application with a version number called 1.0, right? WhatsApp application considering as an example, right? I started developing with a chatting application over there. The initial, it started only with chat. It is basically used for a chat itself, right? I use only text chatting. Later I got to know there I can even add up some emojis into it. So I will update, sorry, I was talking about an update there. This is an upgradation. So I started with chatting over there. Later I got calls, right? I do change my version as 2.1. So I started with using text, right? Later it got updated with emojis. Then I will say it as like this, update within the version over there. You're getting it? The differences between these two. right? So same thing, example in your operating systems of a Windows 7 or whatever it is you people are using it. So I'm using something Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, right? So somebody is using an Enterprise Edition. So this is all within the version itself update, right? So somebody is using Windows 10. That means you got upgraded from Windows 7 to the 10th version over there, right? Now currently Android 11 has been released for a mobile operating system. So 11, that means from 10 to 11 it moved. We call it as upgrading. So within the version it keeps on changing. So upgrading within it is called as Android 11 or whatever the versions they call it as within that. So this is all doing it in a maintenance, all at the client location. We don't need to call the client to the organizations to do any small kind of an issues or a big kind of an issues raising over there, right? It is to be done by the developers and test engineers all the time, 24/7 present at the client location, which is called, we call them as end users over here. So this is how the entire SDLC phases will be. Each phase, who's involved, the role, responsibility, and the process we discussed about it over here, right? So later we will combine all these phases, right, where we'll be calling them as life cycle models over there, right, which they say combination of phases is called life cycle model, right? And here every organization must select any of the model to develop a product or project, right? And how is it they're going to select it over here? Selection is all dependent on the project size and the requirements. Based on that, they'll be selecting it. Now, what are the list of the models? Few of the models which we put it as the very famous things. We start up from waterfall model, a prototype model,
Agile.
fish. Yes, sir, I'm coming down. I'm coming down. V model, spiral. Here it is, your agile, and the RAD model over there. These are the models which we are going to discuss about them. Right. The very first three models are being considered as a step-by-step processes, right? The above three models are step-by-step process, whereas the V model itself is simultaneous process, the lone one, whereas the rest of the part, the spiral, agile, and the RAD are synchronized process, we call them as. So this is how it has been segregated, all these models, right? So just before starting off our models, you have any queries related to the phases? We will have the discussion related to that now. So I'll give you some time here to think about any queries related to the phases. Yes, people, any queries related to the phases? Can discuss them. If you don't have it, let us move on to the models topic.
Sir, help of the document available to conduct end user testing. Just explain once. Sir.
Yeah, this is what we are going to do.
Oh, okay.
As we said, conduct end user testing. Where is it now? So what is it? End user testing is all in the maintenance, which we had the discussion there. Okay. No more queries then?
No, sir, no query.
Shall I move it on to the models here? Sure. We'll start up from the waterfall model, the very first one here. Waterfall model, which is also called as classical life cycle model over here. Classical life cycle model, we call it as, right? So here, why we are calling it as a step-by-step, where all phases are arranged in a step-by-step. That means one phase output will be input to another phase. I have some images downloaded and kept it over here. You can get them from Google Images also, people. Here it is, a waterfall model image. So you can see the reason behind this, why it has been called as a step-by-step. So my requirements phase output will be input to the designing. Designing output will be to the implementation. Implementation is nothing but coding, people. So testing output will be the deployment, that is delivery, and the delivery to the maintenance. This is how it is. So that is what my line will be specifying for you, right? All the phases are arranged in sequential manner. One phase output will be input to another phase over here, right? So that is how it has been working on it. The reason why we calling it as a step-by-step, you got clarity. Now, which type of applications we can work on to this kind of a model, right? We can select this model. If the application is small in size, the conditions over here, small in size, and the requirements to be constant. So if these conditions are satisfied, then no need to think about anything. Straight away start working into this model, develop it, deliver it, close it. So when do we have the requirements constant? In a sense, if the application is a static kind of an application, we don't need to approach any other models. It will be simple and easy to implement in this manner over here. That is what this line is talking about, right? But what are the drawbacks you will be facing in this particular model here? That we'll put up. Now the drawbacks, can I say, fine, based on this itself, I will use one line here, right? Drawback. Not suitable for large application, because they said the conditions over here based on that, right? The second one, being as a step-by-step approach, right? Being as a step-by-step process, right? Can I say it is a time-taken process? Can I say it is a time-taken process? What is the reason behind the time taken, sir? Then, when you said yes, then what is the reason? So you as a test engineers, what do? You have to wait for the previous step. That is it. So every phase has to wait till the completion of previous. That is the reason it is a time taken, right? Till the completion of previous. That is it over here, right? And based on this particular point, requirements to be constant, that means it is not going to allow any changes in the requirements over here in the middle of the process. That means Whatever the requirements you have specified in the initial phase needs to be constant till the end of the process. Nowhere changing in the middle of the process, which is not possible. You want to do the changes, make the entire process start from the beginning again there, right? So that is a drawback there. It doesn't allow any changes in the middle of the process. That will be my drawback, right? And here, if my requirements phase makes a mistake, what is it going to happen here? What is it going to happen if this phase makes a mistake?
It will be a defect application.
A wrong application.
Wrong application.
In the deviation from quality, I use this.
Yes, mistake.
Same thing I asked you during the requirements phase. Again, I'm repeating it to you, right? So in that case, my requirements phase plays a vital role over here, right? Any mistake in your initial phases will be carried till the end of the process. So that is our drawback over there, right? But what is the advantage we have over here? Do we have any advantage? Yes or not? Do we have any advantages? Yes or no? As I told you earlier, we'll be using it for a static based application, right? Static in a sense, what? And only information providing application over there. We cannot do any login operation. We cannot check, right? You open a Google page, you open an IRCTC page, right? They are not static, they are dynamic kind of an application because the information keeps on changing, where you log in, where you can book the ticket, right? Everything is happening, right? So in that case, those are not static applications. Static application is constant. It just shows you the current information related to so and so what and all. Example is the education applications over there. If people are trying to search for any web page related to the testing subject, you open it, some XYZ web page over there, right? Sorry for that, I cannot use those websites names over here, right? It will not be good. So these so and so web pages related to the subject, you open it, it is constant, it is fixed, the educational websites, right? So in that case, those are your static web pages over there, right? So the requirements are constant, the subject is constant, it goes on, continues over there. So in that case, yes, blogs are also static applications. Can I say that? Sorry. You post a blog, I'll do a reply to it. In that case, okay, keep it to aside. We are talking about something else. Leave that aside there. And I forgot the line which I was talking about again. Yeah, I was talking about a static application, right? If it is constant requirements, then I will get along over here, right? In a waterfall mode. Right?
Can we take calculator as an example?
Yes.
A calculator app, the notepad.
Yes, anything. So in that case, the static applications, are those easy to implement, easy to develop, yes or not?
Yes, sir.
So that is your advantage. As I earlier discussed during this particular lines when I was talking about easy to implement. Easy to implement because those will be a smaller one application, a static applications kind of a thing. It is your advantage over here. You have 4 different drawbacks over here. Out of these 4 different drawbacks, which is the major drawback you consider it as?
We cannot change the requirements.
So that is your major drawback, because you're not giving any flexibility to the client, which is your major drawback. Now, to overcome that particular drawback, we are coming down to another model called as prototype over here, right? Which is called as simulator, the other term, the other synonyms over there, right? Simulator, you can call it as dummy model over here. Now, what do you do with the dummy there? This is the line they say. We can make changes related to original one before the original begins, making a small correction over there, right? Let me open an image also for this. Here is your prototype image. Right? You gave your requirements in the initial stages. Based on the requirements, a quick prototype designing has been done, and that prototype is given to your customers. You will verify the prototype, you're satisfied, then the rest part begins over here, similar to your waterfall. If you as a customer not satisfied, then there will be changes in the prototype. This circle keeps on happening till your requirements are being satisfied. But the line I mentioned it as does not contain any functionality. Then what is it you will be checking over there? Because this line is here. We said customer evaluation of prototype. So you are looking at the prototype, the dummy over there. What is it you will be testing on the dummy? You people catch hold of a dummy phone, what is it you can do over there? Because this is the line says
Look and
dummy
feel.
model of application shouldn't contain any functionality till client gets satisfied. Yes, sir.
Is
Saying
the
something.
look and feel
That is
you're
what I
talking
just
about?
gave you a hint over there. Look and feel aspect. You look at it, right? The design pattern is nice. The thickness of the mobile is nice. And the weight of the mobile, right? All things. You are not even getting into the functionality because it is just a dummy model over there, a simulator, right? You are joining for an aeronautical engineering as a pilot training also. What do they do when the practicals begin? They will not make you sit into the actual flight cockpit over there. They'll put you into a simulator. Right? They put you into a simulator. If you see, there's only an image. It is just a prototype over there. Here is it. You can see this is a prototype which has all the controls, but the flight is not an actual flight. It is not moving there. Right? We get an what do you call initially rather sitting into the actual flight, right? They make you sit into the initial prototypes over there. When you get a habit of it, then they make you sit into the actual flight over there, right? So that feels a little bit comfortable into it, right? Nowadays, even the driving schools also, the car driving schools, the Maruti people are using these kind of simulators, right? They put the steering, the gear knob, everything's right, everything on the on that over there. They put 3 or 4 screens in front of you, right? If you people have been recently into that kind of a thing, right? So that is what it is. You are been using that car driving school for 3-4 days practical. Once you get a habit of it, then they'll make you sit into the actual car. So probably we have sat onto the directly on the actual car. What did happen during the first day? Whoever people went on to driving schools. How was your first day experience, people? What happened? Nobody has been to the driving schools, car driving schools nowadays? Right? Fine. It will make you a little bit confused in that kind of a process there, right? What is what and all, we do not get to know anything. So when we sit into the prototype, makes it comfortable for us, right? After the multiple rounds of sittings in that prototype, we can get on to an actual one. That is what your prototype is talking about. We will just look at it, right? So I order for a so-and-so called mobile over there. I am not satisfied with the mobile. They will give another prototype of that mobile there, right? You asked for an iPhone initially, you're not satisfied, fine, right? So refine changes, which we are talking about. Then they give you an Samsung phone over there, right? If you're not satisfied even with that, then they go with some XYZ mobile over there. So you're satisfied with this, you go do the payments, then the actual product comes over there. The actual product is been happening in this particular models over there, right? So this is how the prototype is. It is not being getting developed until the actual product is not getting developed until the client gets satisfied over there, right? So that is what a prototype is, a dummy model of application, right? So we can use this model for what reason? Mainly, the main reason of using a prototype, to overcome the drawback of waterfall model where we are not allowing the changes in the requirements, right? To overcome. So in this line, it is a third one. So according to that, I will mention it, right? So third drawback of waterfall model where requirements cannot be changed, right? Now, if the requirements want to be changed, the changes are only applicable in the prototype. But once the customer is being satisfied, again, requirements cannot be changed in this waterfall iterative model over here, right? The requirements to be changed only in the dummy, but not in actual process, right? So that is what it is to be done. So for which kind of applications we can select? Still in a small size, and requirements can change, right? Changes, again, conditions apply. At the top, you can see changes can be only done in the dummy, but not in the actual part over there, right? So in this case, what are the drawbacks over here you will find? Again, related to this, Can I say again time taken process, yes or not? What is the reason then? Time taken. The actual process will not begin until the client gives you an approval on the dummy over there, right? So building a dummy will take longer time there. So that keeps on continuing till the satisfaction of the client. We have to repeat only for the dummy, not the actual applications over there, right? So in the waterfall model, we made the initial phase as a vital role. Then who plays a vital role in the prototype model then? Who plays a vital role? Client? I don't think so. Can we say client mistake is been done will be carried till the end of the process? Can we point out client is wrong?
No.
Khatam. Then who plays a vital role then?
The developer.
Developer.
Sorry. Design architect.
Designer. From that time I'm rolling it around.
Yeah. Design architect.
Yes, sir. Somebody call me.
The chief architect or technical lead.
Right. So any mistake done in design phase will be carried till the end of the process. That is what it says here. Because client has given an approval accepted by the client. Now after he is accepting it, still you make some mistake, is going to carry it till the end of the process there, because that he is the person who made that vital role for us designing, right? So that is what your prototype looks around over here. So from that time, I'm talking about a smaller application and a larger application. So how do you consider an application is large, or how do you consider an application is big, small? The Google search page which I opened up is going to be a smaller web page or a larger web page? Is the Google search page big or small? So you want me to compare it with anything else? I will even compare it. What about this page now? Yahoo is large or small?
Large, I think.
Reason behind the large over here?
It sends request to the Yahoo server.
The same thing is happening
Maybe
also here.
Yeah, same with the Google.
I'm searching for live score because there's a match happened yesterday. I want to check out for the live score. All the IPL is happening there. Right. So this is the information they showed. Same thing. I can even check out the same thing over here. Now, whoever got registered with Yahoo, their web pages will be displayed. Right? ClickBuzz is here. Everything, all the same there. Every application you type an information, goes to the servers, checks for it, and shows you the information. Search capacity? No. We got a clarity. The same thing it showed me in the Yahoo and as well as in the Google. Yahoo did not show me an extra runs or neither extra wickets falling of New Zealand yesterday. Neither the Google has been done that.
Multiple servers, it's contracting multiple
The
servers.
content of the web on the page itself is more.
Yeah.
We cannot do the scrolling of Google, never ever. The Google page, search page will not scroll. Somewhere other you want to do scrolling, yes, you type live score, right? Finished. Apart from this, it will not go more down. But Yahoo, never ending. You keep on scrolling it keeps on showing the information, something or the other over there, right? And this is the only first page which we are talking about. I don't want to get into the inside of the pages. Yes, I will accept Google is bigger when we are talking about the multiple applications it has over there, comparing to Yahoo. Search is there, maps, all these are there for Google. Whereas Yahoo, there's mail, search, YouTube kind of things, videos, and what else? Khatam. That's it. No more else over here we have. Right? Mailing, searching. That's it. Only two options we have. Right? So in that kind of a thing, Yahoo is a small. But whereas talking about applications and all, it is big Google. But my question was, is the Google search page big or small? So because of the content less on the page, you can see 70 to 80% or 90%, you can say it is khali dulla, kuch bhi nahi hai yahan pe. Right? So that is the reason over there. These kind of web pages, we can design a prototype easily. I used a lot of examples for a prototype like mobile, a flight simulator, right? Or car automobiles over there. But what is the example I need to use it for my prototype over here? So I need to prepare a presentation to my client, a slideshow I need to present over there, right? I play the slideshow, client can understand it easily over there. If it is done, then we got an approval, start implementing the application in the manner. If it is not, then add the slide, remove the slide, which can be easily done in the PowerPoint presentation over there for you. So that is the reason over here, PowerPoint presentation for your software side application. This will be the example for you. Clear? So the waterfall model used for a smaller applications, the requirements are constant. Prototype still used for a smaller application, but requirements can change, can be changes only in the prototype. That is your dummy, not in the actual process over there. So these are your two models over here for the day. So tomorrow we'll see for a fish model, V model, and the spiral model discussion tomorrow. Right? So you have any queries for the day? Let us discuss about them. Any queries, people? Yes, Mr. Harikiran, I seen one of the query you said, does all the models have all the SDLC phases? You can see the images over here, sir. All the phases are there. Few of the phases will be name changed, but end of the day, it is all the same there which we have. Right. Any queries, people? So as I said, those images, you can, if you want it, you can get them from your Google sites over there. Yes, I have ready. One second, people.